welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic. Consider safe. Great job, 49ers!
The five best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Rafa, you can't say anywhere that he doesn't belong in the league. Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb up.
Oh, he was in one of those vests?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 111. What Rafa and I shot yesterday on the golf course. It was not a
99,
pretty day.
99.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. College football edition. As you can see here, we put together our own committee, the only committee that really counts here. Non-biased, except for Rafa. If you're in the SEC, then you're the best that ever fucking lived, and you should win the national championship right now.
Right.
But, you guys, we are the
You ain't lying.
We are the gambling show of record. We only have one rule, and that is not to be a loser, right? Play responsibly. Don't be a doucher. That being said, guys, we have a very special guest. But before we introduce him, we have CJ Wowo in the house, executive producer of tonight's show. Eddie Money is in the house, looking very grungy. It looks like you just got high or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what that look is about. But anyways, we have Rafa, the guru, is in the house. What up, man? Playing poker probably on his phone. And our special, very good friend of the show, Mr. Ryan Holmes. Everyone give Ryan a hand. Thank you for joining us today, Ryan. Ryan is all over social media. He is a commentator for wrestling. He interviews a bunch of amazing athletes. I saw your interview with the incredible wrestler from Arizona State, Anthony Robles. Man, I still haven't watched that whole thing. How'd that go, Ryan? That had to be pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome. We were trying to get it done earlier on, like a couple of months ago, but he's like on a press tour, obviously, for the movie. So we had been texting back and forth, and we talked at NCAAs last year before everything had kind of really popped off. But he was on this, crazy press tour, and I texted him maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you're home yet, but if you can, like, let's jump on and do the interview." And we luckily were able to do the interview the morning that the movie dropped. So it was pretty dope. Yeah. It's in select theaters now, and then it'll be on Amazon Prime, I think, like in the new year. So it's a pretty dope interview. It was really, really cool. He talked about how Ben Affleck got involved and how it kind of took off. And I can't wait to see it. It's not anywhere here in Texas. I'm going to have to wait to see it on Amazon Prime. But yeah, it was an awesome interview. Anthony's awesome. It's always good to talk to him.
Yeah. The movie we're talking about is Unstoppable. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck produced it, I believe. Jennifer Lopez is in it. Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully it brings a lot of light. And, we are wrestling guys. So can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch it. Cool, quick story. Anthony Robles, not everyone knows this, but I took my two young sons when they were like 11 and Sonny was like 9. And we took him to a clinic, and boom, shield up, big ass Raider tattoo, man. Not only is he a national champion with one leg, but he's part of the nation, man. So much props to Anthony Robles, and go see Unstoppable. But let's get into some college football tonight. We do college football. The brackets are out. We're gonna get our squabbles and our likes and dislikes out. I know Ryan reached out to me and he's like, I gotta talk about the Alabama, tiers. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but I'll let you and the SEC Rafa Feinbaum himself battle it out. I have no problem with it, man. You lost to two unranked teams. I'm sorry.
Well, SMU beat none. Well, SMU beat none. Well, Indiana beat none. And
they didn't
it's
lose.
not even the case for Alabama. It's not even the case for Alabama. It's the case for anybody else but SMU and Indiana. That is the fucking case. That is the thing. They are fucking trash. They are fucking horrendous, dude. They are.
They had one loss. They have one loss. They have one loss to the second-ranked team in the fucking country at the time. And they have the highest win fucking point margin of any fucking team in college. Ryan, this is supposed to be you.
They played 7 teams. They played 7 teams with a losing fucking record.
And Alabama lost to a team with a losing fucking record.
Yes.
Are we forgetting this?
Actually went on the field and lost to one.
I wish I could hear this.
I wish you could too, because it's really good shit that you should probably learn. Listen, you can't have any sort of. I have no remorse for Alabama, like none, like zero, absolutely zero. Because one, yes, I'll put it on the table. I am a Florida State fan. Seeing Alabama in the playoffs last year absolutely sucked for me as a Florida State fan. However, those situations are not nearly the same. Bama lost to 3 teams, one of which was under 500 at the time in Oklahoma. And now everybody's saying, "Oh, we're not going to schedule."
No, they were 5 and 5, I believe.
No, they were 5 and 6 because it made them 6 and 6.
Because they were 2 and 6 in conference.
It made them 6 and 6. That made them 500 when they beat Bama. When Bama failed to score a touchdown, remember that? Against an under 500 team.
Inaccurate.
Okay.
You're gonna make me go and look this shit up because
go ahead. I already.
But hold on.
Oh,
let me look.
Okay. Either way, whether I'm
don't either way me. Don't fucking either way me. Don't throw shit out there and just okay. No, I'm almost sure they were 5.
Okay. Listen, I can. Here's the thing. I can concede if I'm wrong about that. However, Bama still lost the game when they didn't score a touchdown to one of the worst teams in the SEC. So yeah, I can whatever that, but I can't whatever the fact that they lost. They lost games to teams in the SEC, and everybody wants to say, "Oh, we're not going to schedule big non-conference games." Who are your big non-conference games? South Florida, Mercer. Seriously?
The University of the Blind and the Deaf of North Carolina, Tennessee State of Northwest of South. That's who the fuck the SEC plays in Week 11. The University of the Deaf in the South.
You have a good running back, CJ. Don't talk shit about them.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I get better Wi-Fi so I can hear this madness.
I'm gonna.
They were 5 and 5, by the way.
Okay, fine. They were 5 and 5. I can concede when I'm wrong. However, they still lost. They lost the game.
They didn't lose. They got mud stomped.
They got beat.
Fucking mud stomped on national TV in a must-win fucking game. They didn't show up. So
sorry.
Did you watch? Listen, the SMU was down 31. Was it 24-7? They were down 17 points. Clemson sucks dick. Yes, horrible, horrendous. But they had to be in. SMU beat fucking nobody. I don't give a fuck. Lost it to me. Wins.
Oh gosh, we lost them.
Fucking Georgia, the number 2 team in the country, and Alabama tapped that ass for 2.5 quarters.
Then what happened against Vandy?
Bro. It's Indiana and SMU. Give me Ole Miss. Give me fucking.
The internet doesn't even like the bullshit.
I'm sorry. I don't need it to be Bama. I don't want it to be Bama because their coach sucks and their quarterback sucks.
True.
You can't reward teams. You can't reward teams.
Wi-Fi here today.
You can't punish teams that have one fucking loss that are in a major 4 conference. You can't fucking do it. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. Is if you're going to say that
unfortunately we cannot do it.
If you're going to say that only SEC teams or Big Ten teams are the ones that deserve to be, and I hate saying deserve because honestly, these teams actually earned it by playing their schedules. Like why even have other conferences? If that's the case, then why have these other conferences at all? Like it doesn't make any sense to have any other conference if we're just going to say the SEC is the big bad SEC. I get it. The SEC has won a ton of titles. They're awesome. No one is ever going to refute that the SEC is the best. I will give them all the props in the world. However, you can't just poo-poo anybody else's schedule and say, okay, well, your division or your conference isn't as good as our conference, so we're going to rank these teams higher than you, even though you have a ton of wins and you played your schedule. Don't everyone's saying, like I said, everyone's saying that Alabama's not going to schedule tough non-conference games. They lost to all teams in their own damn conference. Yes. So just, schedule a cupcake conference, schedule nothing but cupcakes in your own conference then, because that's really what matters. You played your schedule and you went 9-3. Like you didn't win every game like you were supposed to. If anyone has a gripe of being snubbed, it's South Carolina. That's the team. I mean, because Saban's talking about strength of record and strength of schedule. South Carolina is above Bama in both of those metrics. The only place that Bama is above South Carolina is in ESPN's FPI, which is basically, oh, you have a ton of 5-star fucking recruits, so we're going to bump you up.
Hold on. Listen, I agree with you on South Carolina. The only thing that Alabama has over South Carolina is, that they fucking beat them. Just that. That's all. South Carolina's schedule was, to me, one of the toughest. But they lost to Alabama, okay? Georgia lost to Alabama. SMU beat fucking nobody. Still beat nobody. Indiana, 7 teams with 4 wins, 3 wins, 5 wins. What is that? I know they.
So then why play a conference schedule?
Dude, why play FIU and like Indiana? Oh, they beat everybody by 30. They played nobody. I'm sorry. They played nobody. We know they don't deserve it. Bama, to me, doesn't deserve it. I would have put South Carolina, but they lost to Bama. And the disgusting fact is that South Carolina, the last week of the season, beats Clemson 1 week ago. It wasn't at the beginning of the season. So if football math works at the end of the season, maybe you just lost to South Carolina and then you beat SMU. In reality, it kind of shows you SMU a little bit trash. That's all. That's all I'm saying. SMU, dude, fuck Bama. Give me somebody else. South Carolina, Miami, anybody but SMU. Anybody. And I actually like the quarterback. I just don't like. Dude, they beat no one. I'm sorry.
They should have beat Clemson. They had a fucking bad.
They should have never beat Clemson. The game.
They had a bad 7 minutes. They had a bad fucking 7 minutes.
It was 24-7. It was 4. Was it not 14?
They had a bad 7 minutes. I just told you.
7 minutes? Go play by play of that game.
I watched the fucking game.
The game was pretty over.
First quarter.
It was 24-7. 24-7.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I watched it.
All right. So they were.
Trust me. I watched it. To ask Eddie Money. I fucking
were in it at the end of the game. I watched it. It was 24-7, and you never felt like, oh, this is it. Like the committee at halftime was like, oh, SMU's out.
Not me.
That's what they said. SMU's out. The committee at halftime. I guarantee you at halftime, when they look to score the game, they're out.
No.
By the way, I said this last week. And you guys fucking looked at me like
with you, Eddie.
I was on a short bus. I said that SMU will probably get in, even if they fucking lose and have a tough game. I said
they barely lost. It's the only reason that they got in. The only reason they got in was because Clemson won the game at the fucking buzzer.
No.
That's the only reason.
No.
What did they end up in the rankings?
Above Clemson.
Above Clemson. They're 11, I think, and Clemson is like 16.
So the committee, it shows you how they not value Clemson, and yet Clemson beat SMU. How does that make any sense?
You know why SMU stayed in the rankings? You know why they stayed above everybody else? Because the committee came on TV and he said that a team that is playing this weekend is in so many words, that they're most likely locked in. A team that is not playing is not going to jump a team that isn't playing, which told me that no matter, like, I wanted Clemson to win so badly because I knew that if they did, it meant Bama was never going to see the playoff this year. They had no chance.
How could you call yourself a fan of the game when you want to see those fucking turds over the Crimson goddamn Tide?
Oh my God!
Because the Crimson damn Tide lost to 2 6-6 teams. That's why I don't care about your legacy. Nick Saban's not there anymore. Bear Bryant isn't gonna put a fedora on and walk on the sidelines. I don't care about their legacy. I don't give a shit about the Bama A anymore. You have to win the games.
Yes. Let's just go by preseason rankings.
Yes.
Not play. And we'll have all the fucking Alabama, Georgia. We'll just put them in the national LSU. We'll just put them in the national championship every fucking year. Because we're gonna go off the fucking.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
You can ask whatever you want, buddy.
Would the BCS would have been better this year? Because I saw this argument on TikTok. No, not in terms of excitement, but in terms of I think we have clear two teams that deserve the automatic right to go to the national championship: Georgia and Oregon. Like Penn State doesn't have an argument. Texas doesn't have an argument. Notre Dame lost to NIU. Like the two teams that have an argument are Georgia and Oregon. Like that would have been the perfect BCS national championship in this year.
That would have worked.
It would have worked, but I don't see Georgia being the team that everybody can rest their hat on. Right? Like it's really hard for me to say Georgia's that team this year. Like it's really, really hard to do. Oregon outright deserves it, but it's really hard to say that anyone else is even on that tier. And the funny thing about like this argument that SMU shouldn't be in, SMU has more ranked wins than Texas.
Hello.
Yeah.
How many ranked wins do they have?
All it needs is one. Texas has
zero. Texas has zero ranked wins against top 25 teams.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for Texas.
They're the 5 seed because they're in the SEC.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're advocating for SMU to not be in and saying they didn't play anybody. However, Texas is 0-2 against the only ranked team that they played all year.
And they're in the
only ranked team that they played. The only ranked team that they played is the number 2 team. You know,
and they lost twice.
Yes,
but that's the thing. Beating the first time.
Here's the thing, though. You have 12 games in your year, and you only played one ranked team. That's like that. That can't be your argument.
Technically, at the time they played Michigan was ranked. We know
doesn't matter.
Correct. You're right. You're right. That is something. Like that I hate. Right. That is something that I hate is that they always say, to go against my own argument. All these teams have this. They don't have any ranked wins at the time that they played. I mean, at the time that Bama and Georgia played, it was a 2 versus 4. Right. So things change throughout the year.
Did SMU end up with a win against a ranked team at the moment?
We have to take the rankings as they are now. We can't say that they are ranked because a team that goes to the preseason rankings. Like that was a 2 versus 4 matchup because Alabama was ranked way too high in the preseason. So we have to take the rankings as they are right now.
Okay, if you take the rankings are the way they are right now, SMU has 0 ranked wins. Indiana has fucking 0. Oh wait, they have 0 anyways. So they have 0. Georgia,
I'm not making a case for Indiana.
Okay, Georgia, South Carolina, Bama, Ole Miss, they have more ranked wins than all the other turds.
How many losses do they have? That's the difference, is how many losses. What is their floor? What is them at their worst? Not them at their best. I need to see them at their absolute worst, and at their absolute worst are scoring 3 versus fucking Oklahoma.
Their absolute worst? That's what you're judging it on?
Listen,
so we're not judging anyone at their best.
Yeah, you do, but you can't just throw out their losses, though. That's the thing.
Listen, I hope for the sake of your livelihoods and your text messages and your cell phone that Indiana and SMU win a fucking game, or at least a competitive, because I will fill up the fucking text messages with fucking just Alabama fucking elephant cockpits. All fucking chat. And all his fucking running rebels, I have elephant dick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why do you have elephant dick in your phone?
Hey, it's an impressive
on the other wall.
Thing. It's here. It's
on the other wall. Listen, my only gripe, and we talked about this. Did it work? I say it worked. My only gripe about the 12-team playoffs is that if you win your conference, you shouldn't have been, in that bye week.
Correct.
You should be in, and then let's go the highest rank to the bottom rank, because Oregon has the toughest fucking road and Penn State has the easiest road. So to me, it worked. This thing just needs a little tweak.
Yeah, but this
this works against our argument, Ed. So this is where I joined Rafa's train. I was saying earlier in text messages, because what SMU did by staying in, and what the playoff committee did by valuing these conference championships so much, was that leaving Alabama out ended up making Oregon's side of the bracket absolutely ridiculous. Like, Oregon potentially has to play 3 of the 4 best bet teams to win the national championship: Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State. So it kind of works against our argument, because if you value those conference championships and we leave SMU in, it makes that Oregon bracket just absolutely ridiculous. So that's where I'm like, we can't value these games.
If you pull the top 12 best teams, guess who's not in? Clemson ain't in. Clemson ain't in.
Arizona State, Boise State,
I said you got to win your conference.
Indiana.
Yeah. Win your conference gets you an automatic bid in.
Yes, just not a top 5.
Yes.
Top 4.
The system,
the top 4.
The system is flawed because they're allowing 5 conferences in. We know damn well, and if you watch it on a week-to-week basis, that fucking the Mountain West is a terrible fucking conference. It's just the truth.
That might be the other tweak I make. It
is so bad to put Boise State in this thing, and they got a fucking spot. They got a spot.
I don't
know.
No, you
cannot agree with whatever the fuck you want. Did you watch them play the game?
For a very selfish reason. I don't agree with it for a very selfish reason. I don't agree with it for a very selfish reason, and that is, if you leave somebody like Boise State out, and again, selfish reason, you leave the Ashton Genty potential story out. Somebody who's a Heisman. Yeah, I care.
Nobody gives a fuck.
What did Boise State end up being ranked in the
9?
Okay, so they would be in.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Just don't give them a fucking bye.
Yeah.
That's the tweak is very simple. It doesn't. You don't have to fucking blow everything up. It's very fucking simple.
Zach,
I mean, Texas
storyline.
Yeah, Texas should have the bye. Honestly, I mean, even though they didn't really have the toughest schedule, like Texas, they should have the bye over Boise State. I just think that this was the first year for 12, and they were like, they knew they were going to mess up. They knew it. They absolutely knew it. Here's the thing: they did not expect Bama to put them in the position that they put them in. Yes. Because any other year, it's like, yeah, we're going to have Bama. We'll have Ohio State. Georgia's going to be in there. In the last couple of years, obviously, Texas. But we'll let the rest kind of sort itself out. I think Notre Dame is probably another one of those teams that they penciled in at the beginning of the year. But Bama shit in the bed. And then SMU doing what they did in their own conference, regardless how you feel about SMU or regardless how you feel about Boise State or teams in the lesser conferences, it's you still have to value your conferences. Even if you have a tier system of saying SEC is the best, which I will always concede to, Big Ten is second to that, but then who comes after that, right? And like, honestly,
nobody.
The ACC should be above the Mountain West. It should be. And if it's not, you're absolutely insane, because look at if you want to look at history with Bama, look at history with who's winning national titles out of the ACC. It's Clemson, it's Florida State. Clemson's in there. If you really want to continue with your history look. So like, you can't have, I'm sorry, but as good as Boise was, or good as they looked against their own schedule, you can't give them a bye. And I think that's where the system's also flawed, is they should not have a bye in this first round. And I don't give a shit about Genty and his Heisman hopes or whatever else. Like,
dead.
Listen,
we're not.
Let's all hold hands. I think we can all agree. Let's all sing Kumbaya. We can all agree that Boise State didn't deserve a fucking bye. Can we all agree on that?
They did not. Yeah. They did not.
Okay.
And it should have been, by the way, if real quick, we should touch on this. And Penn State, in my opinion, should have been ranked higher than Texas. You're going to tell me that Penn State played.
Agreed.
I agree.
Penn State, the game that played
Rafa?
against Oregon was a lot better than the game that Texas played against a fucking backup quarterback. And it was just Penn State, to me, has played a lot better than Texas has.
Dude, Drew Aller, I was never a fan of Drew Aller. I always thought he was overhyped. Great story, great kid.
That's the best. My guy. That's our guy.
That's the best Penn State has looked all year in a loss.
Yes.
I didn't think they were going to score like that against Oregon.
Shit out of me in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on.
Kudos to them.
Oh, go ahead, Eddie.
Yes. No. I was gonna move on, man.
Moving on. So there is some big rumors and big news circulating around college football. The GOAT of the NFL is now potentially coming to college football. Bill Belichick is potentially going to be the coach at UNC. Eddie, your son goes to the school, so I'll start with you. How do you feel about the GOAT potentially making his way down in college football?
Yes, and you know what? Let's call it what it is. He's the best coach. I love Nick Saban, but Nick Saban went to the NFL and took a shit on himself and said, "No thanks, I'm going to go back." So Bill Belichick is the greatest coach.
Rafa's waving his hand.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Rafa's raising his hand.
Bill Belichick, okay, best coach ever, and I love Saban. Now that moving forward, when I heard it, I thought it was a brilliant publicity sort of ploy. It gave the UNC narrative like, oh shit, they're really looking to hire a dude. And at the same time, it helped for Bill Belichick because the narrative was like, I want to coach. Like, I really want to coach. I'm going to go to UNC. And then you start hearing what everything going on. And this is a real thing. I mean, there was reports that it happened. Now, my opinion is this. Is it unequivocally 100% going to work? I don't know. Do I hope? Yes, but I think it can. And it's for this reason. Everyone's concern is Belichick, he was a no fun guy in the NFL. I mean, college kids, that's all they do is like to have fun. They're not even pros. How is that going to fit? Well, there's something called in college football now a general manager. And he'll just say, listen, just come here. I develop players. Bill Belichick develops players in the NFL, let alone college. What will he do with the young kid and mold him into better players? Something Lincoln Riley, by the way, and every coach at USC for the last 10 years, you get a 5-star or 4-star, and you can't develop them. These are 16, 17, 18, sometimes 19-year-old kids, and they're not being developed. Bill Belichick can develop football players. He's done it countless times with the Patriots. So, I mean, I'm excited for UNC. I hope to pull the trigger. I'll let you guys speak on it more. I don't want to take everyone's time up, but I'm curious to see what you guys feel about
Eddie, I want to jump in here because I had an opinion about this when you brought it up earlier. Then you brought up the point about him being old, and it's his talking point in social media. You just brought it up. Lincoln Riley, these young coaches, they try to feed into what the young players want. I think that Bill Belichick, a young guy, kind of like Nick Saban, that young attitude, is going to actually attract a lot of players and a lot of parents who want that stability in a coach who's going to, who's already proven, but is going to instill discipline. Like he said, he wants it to turn into a feeder program. He wants to get these guys ready to get for their job after football. Like, I think that's going to attract a lot of parents. And I think it's actually a good thing for college football. I think him with that old school style is going to attract a lot of 5-star athletes.
Oh man,
who's next?
Oh man. Well, I want to.
Oh
fucking,
Jesus!
I got to go at Eddie for him claiming
Address
that
it.
Bill Belichick, claiming that Bill Belichick is a better head coach than Nick Saban based on Nick Saban went to the NFL. Dude,
no, it's based on other things, but that's just
what is it based on? What is it based on?
Rings.
Nick Saban has 7.
Yeah.
7 national titles. 7. Bill Belichick has 6. And the guy he did it with, Alabama, he had 6. He had 1 at LSU.
6?
He had 6 at Bama, and he had 1 at LSU. He has 7. Belichick had 6.
How many
the
in the NFL?
Quarterback of all time.
At the highest level.
If Bill Belichick,
at the highest level, how many did they have at the highest level?
Not everyone can coach the same. It's not the same thing. You can lead kids. It's different when it's with men. The other thing is that let's not. Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowl rings with the greatest quarterback of all time. Currently the best quarterback of all time. Patrick Mahomes will overtake him eventually.
Negative.
Factual. And so, but he did that, and then Brady left. Belichick took an absolute shit. Like just a shit. All right. And Brady left and won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. That's the other thing. So now you're saying, he did it. He didn't do it at the highest level. He left the Dolphins, blah, blah, blah. That's not his thing. If Bill Belichick comes to North Carolina, let's say he does, and I hope he does. And I hope next year they win 6 games.
Be at the highest level.
And it's not the same thing. It is not the same. It is a lot.
I know it's not the same thing. There's another levels. There's levels to this game. And Bill Belichick,
it's just older
one
people.
more at the highest fucking level. That's my point. There's levels to this game.
If Bill Belichick comes to college, if Bill Belichick comes to college, if he comes to college and he's irrelevant, which he
what are you saying?
Which he will be, then your case holds nothing because he went down to Saban's level, the lower level, according to you, and will do absolutely
according to me.
Shit.
That's according to everybody on the planet. The college is lower than NFL. That's not a fucking
it's just the next.
But does it hold true that if he comes down to college football and fails, that your case then has no,
because you
no
couldn't
foundation.
do it at the lower level. You did it up here. You better do it down here. You better crush down here. If you did it up here, so elite. What did you do without Josh McDaniels? Bill Belichick.
Nick Saban fucking stuck off in the fucking NFL. So you're calling him the fucking GOAT. So it's a two-way street, Papa.
Ed,
two-way street.
The NFL is different. It's just different. It's totally different.
I know.
It's
harder.
Listen. When you're a head coach in the NFL, it's a lot different than it is in fucking college football. I'm sorry. Recruiting is just as tough, if not tougher, than maybe the draft. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Zach said Saban went to the NFL where everyone is a 5-star and did shit. He said he needs the talent advantage.
And
Urban Meyer sucks too.
I knew Zach was going to bring this up because Zach has been the biggest Alabama hater that Nick Saban just had 5 stars rolling in, which Zach, I don't agree with. I think Nick Saban is a fabulous coach. Nick Saban brought in 5 stars and didn't know their name. He didn't kiss anyone's ass. He was,
Nick Saban was so good, he won with white quarterbacks.
Oh, here we go.
That's how good he was. AJ McCarron, Greg McElroy. Woo! Look at those studs. Mac Jones. Woo! Guess who had Mac Jones? Guess who had Mac Jones and couldn't win shit? Bill
Took him
Belichick.
to the playoffs.
One time, and then the kid was so bad after that, he died. By the way, and I think the year that Mac Jones made the playoffs with the Patriots, was Josh McDaniels his offensive coordinator? Please, if we can fact check the fact, I would love to see how many Super Bowls Bill Belichick won without Charlie Weiss and Josh McDaniels running the offense. I would love to know that. I would love to know that.
So, okay, by your standards, Mike Tomlin's dog shit because he's not a good offensive fucking coordinator?
Oh, no. Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal head coach. Doesn't matter who his coordinators are. When Josh McDaniels left Bill Belichick, they won. He got basically fired. He missed the playoffs. He turned to actual dog shit. He started to fuck 25-year-old women, which is going to be a problem in fucking North Carolina. All right, that's what parents need to be worried about.
Let's get back to North Carolina. Let's get back to North Carolina.
That was a great circle. Way to bring it back, Rafa.
I don't think he should coach North Carolina. I think it's pointless.
Why?
To be honest with you, because it's not a good program. And he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it a great program.
What do you mean it's not?
How do you know that?
It's a good program. That's literally what it's not. It's not great, but it's good.
I think it's a top 25 program every year. It's a top 25 program every fucking year.
Have they finished in the top 25 the last how many years? How many years have they finished in the top 25?
They just lost an NFL quarterback. Like they have to and getting Bill Belichick is rebuilding that.
Ohio State loses NFL players every week, every season.
Please tell them.
They're a great program.
The University of National
They're
Champions.
like the second or third.
University of National Champions. They are the most recognized
basketball national
brand
champions
in college.
That's not what I'm saying, Eddie. There's no doubt about it. The Michael Jordan North Carolina brand is phenomenal. It's amazing. It is great.
The brand is amazing.
The brand is amazing. It's not about the brand. It's about the football program.
Yes, but that brand can attract football players. That's what we're trying to say.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now something that CJ and Eddie Money might not want to hear. All you young kids are pussies. Bill Belichick is an actual fucking man. Bill Belichick is a man. When he gets pussies like you in there that are still fucking under mommy and daddy's fucking little circle. Oh, my God. Bill said that.
The same pussies who are eventually going to become NFL players? Those same pussies?
He gone. I'm telling you.
I think Bill Belichick attracts a certain type of athlete.
He will attract winners.
That no longer exists.
I think it.
No bullshit.
I agree. I think
Scatterboo is a fucking winner.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, but he's at Arizona State. He's not.
Exactly.
He's not going. He's not leaving there to go to North Carolina.
I'm saying, but there's Scatterboos out there. You're just y'all are being generational. Y'all are being generational fucking haters. That's your.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You guys are
yes,
pussies.
you are. No, you're
you
a
guys
pussy.
Are pussies. Yeah, all you young kids are pussies. There's no doubt about it. It's all over the place. Oh my God, I think I'm a boy. I'm a girl. Who knows? That's the majority of the shit. And when Bill Belichick puts his fucking cock down right there, all right, on Tobacco Road, and he's fucking does this, there's gonna be a problem. There's gonna be pussies crying everywhere.
I don't think
that's a no for Rafa. I would like to hear if Ryan thinks it's gonna work.
That's a no from Rafa. I hate to agree with Rafa, but I don't think he should coach at North Carolina. I really don't. I honestly don't. Like it's a different college, a different world now. And there's too many unknowns. There's way too many. You're telling me that he's going to put up with these dads. One, he won't. But he's going to put up with these dads that want 7 figures. He's going to put up with these kids that want to try to push and be like, hey, I might transfer here if I don't get more money. Bill's going to be like, all right, go ahead and go. I don't really care. That's how I know that these dogs don't really exist anymore. That's why Scatterbo is at Arizona State, because these other coaches didn't want to look at him in the first place because he is a different type of player. That's why he works at Arizona State. That's why he works at Arizona State.
Scatterbo is not Frazier from Georgia. Like, he's a good player, but he's not a great player. Like, he is a good story, but he wasn't recruited. He was at Sacramento.
He ran for 2,000
He was
yards,
at Sacramento State for a reason. Like, he is not a Georgia level running back.
He's a white running back.
He's a white running back.
Oh my gosh. CNC, baby.
God's honest truth.
Bro.
He doesn't have top end speed. He doesn't have top end speed like most running backs do. He's a great in the tackles runner. He knows how to break tackles, but he's not a Georgia level running back. I don't see that. He's not
he's a short yardage guy in the NFL. That's what he is. That's what he is. No, I wouldn't. No, the fullbacks are obsolete now.
I think he'd be bigger than that. I think
fullbacks are obsolete now, but he's not a he's a spell guy. He's a backup guy. I don't see him as a starting running back in the NFL. He's good, but he's not a starter.
Good. He's a good player.
But back to the original point, I do not think that Bill Belichick should be the coach at UNC. I don't. I really don't. Like, it's not going to work for him. It's really not. Like, the way that he used to berate Tom Brady, those guys don't exist anymore. They really don't. They truly do not exist anymore. Because, and listen,
it's not
they don't. And you can hear it when Tom Brady speaks about what was the game that Tom Brady was talking about where the wide receiver dropped the ball and he was like, Tom, would you go back to him today? He's like, not today. Like, that was like the most Belichick shit that I had ever heard. Oh, we're going to put him in the game, but he's not going to get the damn ball anymore. That's what it is. And that's how Belichick is going to be. He's not going to put up with this NIL stuff. Maybe he's a general manager. Maybe he's Andrew Luck, like Andrew Luck coming back to Stanford and going to be a general manager and be super hands-on. But Belichick, college coach, I don't see it working. I really don't.
I said he needs a general manager. He just needs to coach. Like, he cannot be the general manager. And, rumors are is that he wants a stipulation that his son would get the job in 3 years when he leaves.
Yes.
You know what? It probably won't work. I'm just here for it. I'm here for it. I want to see it.
Yeah,
you know what? I want to see it. I want to see it because you can't look away from a good car crash, and that's what it's going to be.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it because I don't want to. I don't want to see it because I don't want him to regress. Like his legacy is, it's already set, right?
No,
No,
it's not.
If
It's
he
not
wanted
His
anymore.
legacy set.
Here's the thing.
I don't think so anymore.
What do you
If
mean?
he
You don't think
really
so
wanted,
anymore?
if he really wanted his legacy set, he would go and get 15 more wins in the NFL and be the all-time leading fucking winningest coach in the NFL, which is 15
Nobody cares
wins
about
away.
that. I don't think anybody cares
It's
about
not
that.
exciting.
Well, you
It's not
guys are
exciting.
talking about legacy. I don't give a fuck about it either.
Yeah, I don't
Honestly,
care.
I think his
Because
legacy's done. I think if you're gonna go down to coach college football, you should coach college football at a program that has an actual chance to win a national title or even make a goddamn playoff. At this point, going to North Carolina is probably the fifth best team in the SEC at
The
that.
fucking ACC championship hosted SMU this year. Like, what do you mean UNC can't make it?
here's the thing, Rafa.
SMU was also in the AA in the
Exactly my point. They're a worse team. They came from a Group of 4 conference.
Let's bring this up. I mean, listen, Nick Saban let five-star guys walk all the time. Like that dude didn't know my name all the time. Deion Sanders wasn't having that shit. You know, he gave wiggle room with, social media and shit like that. But, he didn't have time for crybabies. And he told you straight out.
He was a hard ass.
This is actually what we need. We're crying about this generation. This is what CJ said, that we need to circle back.
We need this, just not at North Carolina. We need this.
Why not? Why?
That's bullshit. Rafa, that's no bullshit.
He's wanted in SEC. What the
that's
fuck?
so bullshit. He wanted to be a fuck. He wants to go to South Carolina or Georgia or Alabama or Texas.
South Carolina would be a terrible job as well. Give me a team that's got chances to actually win a title. Give me
terrible.
LSU.
Why not balance the scales? Why not balance the scales?
Listen, North Carolina balances shit ever in football. They're just
with
not.
Bill Belichick, they might.
They not doing shit. They're not balancing shit. You know where Bill Belichick should go? Go to fucking Michigan. Go to Michigan.
I'm not mad at that either. I'm not. That's a great proposition. I'm not mad
I don't.
at that.
I don't think Belichick should coach. I don't see Belichick being a good coach in college at all.
Yes, right. Yes.
I don't see him being a good coach in college at all. And Rafa, the reason I said that I don't think his legacy is set anymore is the exact reason that you were arguing before about why Saban is better, because you talked about Tom Brady, right? Like if he was able to sustain winning after Brady left, then it wouldn't have left that door open for people to say you were only able to do it with Brady. I think that's what kind of cracked the legacy a little bit, because it allowed that question. Beforehand, nobody had that question. Brady went on and won a title in his first year with his new team. Belichick couldn't do it, right? So it's just like, who was it really? And I think that's why the legacy isn't what the legacy was when he had Brady. If he leaves after Brady leaves, everybody's like, Belichick's the best, rode off into the sunset, done, nothing else. No, there's no question. But the only reason you question it now is because Brady was able to do it without him. So I think that's why his legacy is a little bit different.
I don't think Belichick is I still think Belichick is the best head coach in the NFL all time. I don't think anybody will surpass him as the best head coach unless Andy Reid somehow wins 3 more.
I was going to say you're talking about Patrick Mahomes doing it. He's only going to do it Andy Reid.
Well, if Andy Reid wins 3 more Super Bowls, then you could consider Andy Reid the best head coach. But as of right now, Bill Belichick is still the greatest head coach in the NFL history.
History-wise, yeah.
Can we get on to something else? Because
I
wanted to talk about this, and it just popped into my head because I saw Kenny Dillingham, head coach of ASU, today came out. That dude's badass. He talked about the transfer portal being open. We're going to talk about that later. Rafa had opinions. Lane Kiffin also has talked about it. It's so stupid. It's like opening free agency 3 times during a season. It just makes no sense. You got to open it, after the season's done, whatever. But Kenny Dillingham told his guys, hey guys, go enter the portal if you want. I don't want to, hurt you guys. And they were afraid of backlash or whatever. But my point is this. That the NCAA, we complained about it for so long. It was so unfair. It was an iron fist. They ruled against them, basically like the commissioner of the NFL, like, yeah, I'll hear your complaints, but I'm ruling on my own complaints. Like, NCAA was looked at so terribly now, and now we have opened Pandora's box with NIL and transfer portal. It's the wild, wild fucking West. Do you think the NCAA and everyone, they're like, this is what you guys wanted? I thought about it like, like the Middle East and Saddam Hussein. Like we George W. Bush did. We went in there, we took out Saddam Hussein, and just let pandemonium and the Taliban take over. Would we be better off if we just were you like Al Qaeda better than Hussein?
That's what they were. It was Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda. Yes. I'm just saying, yeah, you're right. I feel like there has to be some adjustments made, man. It's just freaking insane at this point. Like, you gotta reel it back in. It's out of control.
But the coaches didn't want this. The players wanted this. The coaches, listen.
And the fans.
The fans didn't give 3 fucks.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I didn't give a fuck. I'm giving you my opinion. I didn't give a fuck because I don't care if they get paid or not, because those motherfuckers get to go to school for free. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. That's the truth. Whether you guys, it's not fair that they're exposing them and blah, blah, blah. Like, all right, go to a fucking school like that and try and pay for the tuition, or even try and get in the motherfucker. Most of you can't even fucking read. That's the truth. I'm just telling you the motherfucking truth. All right, CJ, yes, you were the one lineman. You were the one lineman.
No. This is okay. Right. Okay, I'm glad you called me out. I'm glad you called me out by name because I'm gonna respond to this bullshit. Okay,
listen, hold on. The NIL for me, I could give 3 fucks about. And I told you guys this last year that it was stupid for them to be able to fucking, the minute the season's over, enter the transfer portal. It is stupid. It fucks up the bowl games. At the end of the day, CJ, you don't gamble, so you love football. But for people who don't, the reason that football is the biggest sport is because, number one, you can hit the fuck out of anybody, basically. And the other one is because
not anymore.
You can gamble on it since forever. And everyone gambles on it. FanDuel and fucking women are watching the shit because they got fantasy players. They got money. That's what people give a fuck about football for. I'm sorry. So fuck them. No, the kids don't deserve a fucking penny.
Okay. Stop there. Yes, they do. Okay, that's why we're here.
Not a penny.
Hush. I let you speak, sir. At the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck what you think, Rafa, because you're not playing. They care what the players think, because without the fucking players, we're not sitting here having a conversation about the shit. So at the end of the day, when the players rally together and say, hey, for our efforts, for the billions of dollars in revenue that we bring in every year, hey, we want a cut of that. When they rally together, nobody gives a fuck what you have to say. Nobody gives a fuck what the coaches have to say. Nobody gives a fuck. If the money's coming in, there was a demand, and then people fucking put the money in. At the end of the day, so you can complain about it. You can be up in vitriol, say you don't care and they don't know how to read. At the end of the day, we're not fucking grading them on how they can read. We're grading them on how good of athletes they are on the fucking football field. At the end of the day, the players want to be paid, so they are getting paid. I agree with Eddie. I think the rules around the portal are good rules, but I don't think that you're going to put a cap on money because follow the money. There's money there. It's going to get put into the programs, and it's going to keep attracting players, and this shit's going to get more out of hand. But the way you stop it is you cap the transfer portal, and you cap when players can transfer throughout the season. But the players should be paid. So fuck you, Ralph.
I don't care if they get paid or not. I don't give a shit.
They should definitely be paid. I definitely agree that they should be paid. And I mean, Rafa, you love Alabama. Alabama was probably paying players before it was legal anyway.
Yes, everybody was. I don't see that. Fine, I'm all right with that.
Everybody was not.
Yeah, but everybody wasn't. Everybody wasn't. But now,
everybody couldn't afford to. Everybody couldn't afford to.
But that's a couple of teams, right? Like it is what it is. But here's what I'm saying, right? I love the transfer portal because I love the fact that guys can go where they want to go. However, I hate when it's open. When it's open is the worst of the worst. It's so horrible for the transfer portal to be open right now. Like you have what? How many more games left to play? You got bowl games. You've got the CFP. Like, you've got all these games that are left to play, and you've got guys entering the transfer portal like crazy right now. Like, transfer portal should be open at the end of the year is really, truly what it is. But they're not going to do that. Now, I agree with Eddie that the NCAA is saying, yes, this is what you wanted, but the NCAA also wanted there to be chaos. And I know that because of all the different articles and the different things that I've read from the NCAA about this transfer portal. They were trying to, I mean, the last lawsuit was a what was it, like collective bargaining or some sort of lawsuit, antitrust lawsuit. So it was just horrible, right? And they were trying to keep players as amateurs, and that was the issue. And they were trying to fight against it. And when they stopped fighting against it, and when the court said, hey, you have to pay them, you guys are making X amount of billions, half of your TV contracts pay for everybody's scholarship on the football team. So I think we should probably give them a little bit of dough. The NCAA truly wanted there to be chaos so that they could come in over top and be like, all right, well, we got to fix this. We got to fix this. We got to fix this. And that they look like the white knight at the end of the day. And the NCAA is standing there at the top of the mountain like, hey, look, we just fixed this shit. So they wanted chaos. But I ultimately think that there should be some sort of cap on the money for college players. I really do. Like, the NFL should be where the contracts can go crazy. Pros, you can go crazy. I think it's awesome. And in the NCAA, there should be some sort of cap so that you don't have crazy amounts of money. I mean, who is it? The South Carolina defensive end just signed for $1.5 million to stay. Like, that's what we're reporting on now. Like, come on. Like, and he's probably only going to stay for a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane the way that these guys are now able to make money. Like, everybody has an agent. Just stop.
Mr. Holmes, how can there? I mean,
you can't cap
how?
You can't getting paid, but you want to cap the money.
You can't.
No.
Yes,
Fuck them. Give them
you
all,
can't
give them all the
foresee.
fucking money.
You can't. I mean, what is there going to be a problem with giving an 18-year-old kid, a quarterback, $12 million? How can that go wrong?
How bad could it be, right?
Oh no,
yeah,
real
like,
bad. He can transfer.
That's my point. That's my point. I agree with Ryan. That's my point.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You're sitting here throwing jabs. Shut up.
Cap the money.
I fucking threw an uppercut and knocked them out. Straight trash. Listen. All the money that they can pay them, I don't give a fuck if they get paid or they don't get paid. But I don't think you should put a salary cap on it, period. Give them all the money.
Why?
Because so at the end, you realize, oh, this was a bad idea for paying a kid a bunch of fucking money to go to a school, to then get benched, then go to another school, then go back to another school, get benched again because he's straight trash. So then they'll fucking learn.
And that's why NIL
kids money.
And that's why NIL is basically going by the wayside, and all the schools are going to take care of it while you no longer, like, National Signing Day isn't really National Signing Day anymore. There was no letter of intent that was signed on National Signing Day this year. It was just guys saying, yes, I'm going to this school and I'm committed. And it's now going to change. I'm telling you right now, it's going to change to contracts where they have their financial aid, they have their books, they have their room and board, they have their stipend for whatever. And then on top of that, it's going to be whatever their agent negotiated for them. And there's going to be one contract. The reason that all this shit is happening and why they got rid of the national letter of intent is so that there could be one contract, because you've got all these kids signing, okay, I have to sign my NLI. Now here's my NIL over here. And then there's sponsors over here. No, with the school, you're going to have one contract, and then your agent can do whatever side dealings they want for all the NIL money. That's what it's going to be, because it's all revenue share now. It's not coming into a school and getting paid to come here. It's all revenue share. So that's where it's going to be different. Coaches are honestly pissed off about this latest House case, because now they have to cut guys. Now you can't have over 105. Now you got to cut guys all the time. All the time, no matter what the sport is.
That's what they wanted.
That's not what they wanted. That's not what they wanted. That is not what they all they wanted was to say, hey, you guys made billions of dollars off of my work. Rafa, if you were making billions of dollars, if somebody's making billions of dollars off of you, you'd be like, hey, I want my cut. That's all they asked for. And in order to I'm saying in order to spite them, they were like, we're going to throw all this shit on top of it. And that's why it's going to make it look like it sucks. It's a power grab. The NCAA is always going to have the power. That's what it is. It's a power grab. The athletes grabbed some of the power. NCAA is like, okay, great. Now we're going to do this and really cap it. One, they wanted roster limits so that they knew how much money was being doled out. That's the only reason why they were doing that.
Yes.
There's a whole NIL assist dashboard where all the money is going to be reported to that everyone can see. I can send you the link to it. I was looking at it earlier today. All the money for every school and every conference, you'd be able to toggle through it and do all kinds of really crazy shit and see all the money. That's what the NCAA wanted, but it's all a power grab. That's really what it is. And the NCAA is always going to show that they have the upper hand in every single situation.
That's why they should be demolished.
As they should.
It should be. The NCAA is the most fucking trash institution in the history of fucking college. It's garbage. They should be demolished.
The whole shit?
They should be demolished. The institution should be demolished. It's terrible.
Create the shit? Did they create
the
shit?
Just because
they created the product. Did they create the product that you love? Did they create it?
Absolutely.
Did they create it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're also turning that same product to shit.
Well, so is Coca-Cola, but you still drinking it?
I don't drink motherfucking Coca-Cola. I'm a root beer drinker. I'm a root beer drinker, and root beer keeps their shit sweet for me. The maker of it keeps it nice and sweet. Coca-Cola, you can burn shit with that motherfucker. Okay,
we are the soda pop show of record.
You want to abolish the NCAA, who fucking created the product? Yeah, there you go.
I want to abolish NCAA because of the bullshit that they put on for the last 20 years.
Because they claim to be a non-profit.
Right.
Which is bullshit.
It's hilarious. It's like the Catholic Church.
Whoa! The two biggest mafias out there have just fucking been named on this show. It's the NCAA and the motherfucking Vatican. But we're going to move on to the next topic because shit
let's move on to the next topic before helicopters come down.
Shit gets shut down.
Dude, the Italian mafia ain't got shit on them cats, dude.
Yeah.
All right. So we just got informed of the guys that are going to New York. And so I just want to know, who do you guys think deserves the Heisman? As I currently look at Fox Sports, Travis Hunter sits at minus, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie Money, but Travis Hunter sits at minus 2,500 odds. Ashton Jeanty currently sits at plus 900. Dylan Gabriel at plus 35,000 and Cam Ward at plus 50,000.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
You know, it has to be Travis Hunter, man, and it for the simple fact I would love. I mean, in past years, you know, if Oregon was in the SEC, then this shit would have been Dylan Gabriel's.
100%.
I don't think that's
true. Come on.
I don't think that's true. But look at his numbers. Are his numbers worthy of the Heisman Trophy?
No.
I'm
surprised he's even a finalist.
His numbers aren't close. His numbers aren't close to what Jaden Daniels were, what Caleb's, what any of those guys in years past have been. It's not even close.
He even has less touchdowns than Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, yes. His numbers aren't there.
Shedeur currently sits at higher Heisman odds than he does, and Shedeur's not invited.
Well, I think that's bullshit. I think Shedeur Sanders should be invited. I think
I thought so 1,000%. I thought Shedeur should have been invited.
Yeah, and not Gabriel. No,
not Gabriel, or not Cam Ward. I'm one of
Cam Ward either. No, and that's basically because I hate fucking Miami. But still,
do you guys think Bryson Daly, the Army quarterback, should have deserved an invite?
No, because he fell off a little bit.
Yeah,
and the numbers. The numbers aren't there for these guys. That's why Travis Hunter's going to win it. That's the real deal. If Dylan Gabriel's numbers were there, if Cam Ward's numbers were there, put it this way. If we would just go back 1 year or 2 years and you put those quarterbacks in this Heisman, they crush it. It wouldn't even be close.
This is the worst Heisman year in a while. We understand that.
In a good while. So, but it is what it is, and it's definitely Travis Hunter, and it should be no doubt about it because – the quarterbacks didn't perform to what they should have performed this year. And Jeanty being in the Mountain West, that knocks him. It's true. If Jeanty puts those numbers at Wisconsin, if he's at Wisconsin, if he's at Iowa, if he's at Michigan with those numbers, and at any Big Ten or SEC school with those numbers, he's the Heisman. But when you're playing UNLV, San Diego State, that's what it is. That's just, unfortunately, that's the truth. As we saw, Kevin Smith rushed for this almost same amount of numbers, and he was 7th in Heisman. So guys have done it. Melvin Gordon had similar numbers in the Big Ten and finished 2nd. So that's just, if he was in a bigger conference and playing against actual fucking athletes on a weekly basis, he would have been the Heisman.
I'm sick of you. Okay, you can spew all the hatred you want, but when you come for the fucking athletes of the Mountain West Conference, I'm gonna stop you because you're gonna stop. You're gonna
They
stop.
have athletes there.
You're gonna stop
CJ went there.
people. I was there, motherfucker.
All right. Are there athletes there?
Yes, bitch.
I don't know.
I'm tired of you disrespecting the Mountain West. Like, fuck out of here.
I'm sorry. I apologize for disrespecting the Mountain West Conference.
Thank you.
Football.
Apologection. Thank you.
And that is false apology, just so you know. That is absolute garbage.
So just so we get it straight, the Catholic religion is completely okay. Mountain West, you better stay the fuck off.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's
where he draws the line. He draws the line at the Mountain West.
I said the church. I said the church.
Currently, the Mountain West has 53 players on NFL active rosters, and one of them is MVP favorite.
Hello.
Wow.
I'll be damned.
Hello. The Mountain West, the big Mountain West, not the little one. Hello.
He needed some development, though.
They have one good year. One good year, and we gotta fucking just throw the whole shit out.
State is good every year. What are you saying? Oh, and guess who doesn't have a finalist, by the way? Your big bad bullshit SEC.
They don't. I don't have a problem with that. But this is the problem that you have, that you tend to not understand with me in the SEC. They have the superior players in the fucking league. They do.
They don't, obviously, because they don't have a fucking player in New York.
Yeah,
that's obviously true.
A year in and year out, the SEC is superior in every fucking aspect of football. I'm sorry that you don't.
The one that matters this, it does. Okay, you can
one year.
That's not an arguable fact. We're going off of this year, though. Why is your big bad SEC the one that's supposed to be big and bad every year? Why is it not big and bad this year?
They are big and bad every year. They have the number 2 team in the country. They have the number 4 team in the country. They have the number 7 team in the country. Yes, they are big and bad every year.
And they have the least amount of team in the playoffs. They don't have a guy going to New York. Like, we could continue.
Yeah, it's one time, CJ. But do you see the consistency of the conference? Do you see the consistency? You know who doesn't ever have a college playoff football team? Ever until this year was the Mountain West. The Pac-12 has 2. Since college football playoffs started, they have 2 teams in the fucking thing. They had 2 teams in. All right, since it started. Go back to when it started. They went twice. That was it. It was Washington twice. Look it up. I did this for you. 2015, Washington did it twice. That was it. No other Pac-12 team did it. The SEC, every fucking year, they had a team in the playoff. Every goddamn year.
But
no, they got teams. No, they have teams in the playoffs this year. Like for you to not just comprehend that.
I'm comprehending it. I'm just asking you a simple fucking question. No, I do. I comprehend it. I'm asking you a simple question. This year, in the year of 2024 of our Lord, why the fuck? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that same sentence. Why the heck is your SEC just like so trash? Like it's, you know why? Because they opened the shit up. And now it's more competitive. So yes, Alabama, is going to lose to Oklahoma. It's
competitive with each other. It's competitive.
Like the Pac-12, like the Pac-12 wasn't competitive every fucking year.
It never was because they never had a team to make the college football playoff. 2 teams. That's it. 2 times. That's it. Twice. That's it. Never again. They had 2 teams in. That was it. The whole history of the college football playoff, they had 2 teams in the playoff.
Which is like 10 years.
Well, now the Pac-12 has the number 1 team. So
no, the Pac-12 have none. The Pac-12 has none. The Pac-12 has 2
Oregon
teams.
in everyone's heart is a Pac-12 team.
Oh, it could be that in your heart. On paper, they're not. I'm sorry. They are in the Big Ten now, which is probably why they're the number 1 team in the country. Because they were in the Pac-12, they would still be shit, probably. The Pac-12 is trash. It was trash. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There is no Pac-12. It hurts me, but there is no Pac-12.
I have Washington State and Oregon State.
Right, motherfucker.
And they're not even in the top 40.
I have a question. We kind of got off the rails there, but of the current matchups of the first round of the playoff, which is your favorite? This is not what I was trying to share. Which is your favorite? So we have Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, Clemson, Penn State, SMU, and Notre Dame, Indiana. I have a personal favorite, but I'll go to you, Eddie, first. Which is your personal favorite of the matchups?
I like two games. One, I love Notre Dame, Indiana. You know, you have the closest factor in state rivalry. You have Indiana, who's no one respects against the big bad Golden Domers, the most traditional and storied program in college football history. I like Indiana in that game. Notre Dame is solid. They play solid defense. They're a good team. Notre Dame is a very good team. They had one very bad game, but I'm here for Indiana, man. I want to see Indiana. First of all, shut Rafa up.
Yes.
Rafa Feinbaum.
You need it because the shit's gonna go.
Rafa Feinbaum. And then the second game, I like Ohio State and Tennessee, and it's not because I want to see Ryan Day. I don't wish for anyone to lose their job, but I'm curious to see how that fan base reacts when Tennessee whoops that ass. It's not gonna be pretty. Those are the two games that I'm really excited for.
Mr. Ryan Holmes.
Yeah, I agree with Tennessee and Ohio State. But I also like I know this is going to be pretty crazy, but I like the Clemson and Texas game. Mostly because Quinn Ewers has not looked very Quinn Ewer-ish lately. And that's the thing for me is just like, I think the ankle injury, the injury was definitely nagging and he hasn't looked the same because everybody beginning of the year, he was on the cover of the damn video game and everybody thought he was going to be in the Heisman race. And it is not looking pretty. It is not looking pretty at all. And now people are wondering, is Quinn Ewers going to go to the NFL or is he going to stick around? That's the other question. Is he going to stick around because things ain't looking so good right now? Is he going to stick around? So, and Clemson, they kind of have I know it's SMU, but they've been playing better later on in the season. They have, despite their South Carolina loss. That's their rivalry. You can kind of throw out the records during rivalry week. You really can. You certainly can. Georgia Tech took Georgia to 8 overtimes. Throw the records out during rivalry week. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. So I think, and I also think Klubnik has been playing better than Ewers. So that I like that game. That's why I like that game. I just think that it's just not looking good the way that their offense has been working. They might need Arch Manning to come in and give a little bit of the magic that he brings to that team, because they do kind of pep up a little bit when Arch Manning is in there. It is different. Those guys respond to him differently than 100%. When Quinn Ewers is in there calling plays. So I really like that matchup for sure. What's that?
The whole stadium gets the energy once they see Arch march.
It's different. Yeah. It is definitely different. And I mean, Georgia versus Texas, when it was here in Austin, it was a different vibe that entire week. And people were just like, couldn't wait. And then obviously they got their doors blown off by Georgia, but it was just different that entire week. So I think that game there could be upset there with Clemson and how Texas's offense isn't looking the way that it did the whole year, at least before Quinn Ewers got hurt.
Mr. Rafa.
Phenomenal takes. I like the Notre Dame game. I like Notre Dame against Indiana because I to be honest with you, I don't think Notre Dame is that good. And Indiana getting 7.5, I like Indiana taking 7.5. The other game that's going to surprise you that I like SMU getting 7.5 against Penn State because I like SMU's quarterback. I think they cover. I don't know if they win the game, but I think they cover the 7.5 also. And on the Tennessee Ohio State game, that game, like Eddie was saying, dude, Ohio State has all this fucking talent, and can they get it right? Can they click on offense? I don't know if they can. And so I think we're probably going to get a low-scoring game in that Penn State. I mean, that Ohio State Tennessee game, just because Ohio State doesn't open it up the way 100%. The way we think they should. Yeah. And Tennessee, I think, is going to try and run the ball as much as possible against them and kind of take a page out of the Michigan game. And so that one, I think, is they're all fucking phenomenal games. And then the Texas game versus Clemson, I think that Quinn Ewers gets benched if they get down early in that game. Or I could see them, one of these plays where they bring in Arch for maybe a run play or what we might think is a run play, and he throws a ball down the field and they score a touchdown or whatever. You can easily just pop Arch back in, leave him in the game. Quinn, I'm sorry, you got to sit. And if that offense is struggling against this Clemson team that is not a Clemson team of years past, I think Arch will end up – if Arch plays for Texas, I think they can win the national title. But I think Archie Manning has to play. Or Arch Manning or whatever. Is it Arch or Archie? The Manning.
Either one.
He's got to play. And for them to win, for them to at least have a chance at contending for the title, I think he needs to be the quarterback. I don't think Quinn can hang that injury. I think it's affecting him. Like Ryan said, I think it's all in his head. It's all fucked at this point.
Eduardo Dinero.
I think, like Eddie said, Indiana and Notre Dame game is going to be great to watch because a lot of people will be rooting for Indiana. I will be rooting for Indiana personally. And I think Clemson has a decent shot to upset Texas just outright. They've been playing very well the past couple of weeks. And don't let the low seed, get hot. And they got hot.
I like it. My favorite is by far the Texas-Clemson game because I do think, and Rafa's going to smear at this, I think either one of those teams has trouble with ASU. The way ASU's been playing lately, the way Scottaboo's been playing lately, I think that team is super electric. And I think either one of those teams, it's scary for them facing that ASU team that a lot of people are giving respect to. And then the in Indiana, both those teams are from Indiana, so there's not going to be really any home field advantage. I think it's going to be pretty much split down the half, and so I really like that game. I do like Indiana because screw Rafa, just true. And I think
Indiana money line.
Yeah, but either one of those teams I think gets their doors blown off by Georgia. So I think it's a one game team with either one of these teams, but I like Texas and I like the Hoosiers for sure. But
someone should do a cut bet. Me and Rafa are on the same side.
I think that the only team, I'll tell you what, I think out of all the first four games, I think the one that's least likely to have an underdog win the game, I really believe is Clemson. I don't think Clemson's going to beat Texas, whether it's Quinn or Arch, and I really believe Arch is going to finish that game. If Quinn struggles, and we've seen him struggle a little bit. But the other three games, SMU, Indiana, and Tennessee, I can see them all winning their next game. I love the quarterback from SMU. Did they not beat any? They didn't beat anybody, in my opinion, and I don't think they should have been in. But I like the quarterback, and I think they have a chance. I think they could shock Penn State. So Penn State struggles in big games. We know this. That's the last game they played against Oregon. We didn't even, dude, it was 28. What was it? Was it like 28-7 or something at one point?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oregon kind of fell off there as they always do in the second quarter, which is sad to see. But I think those three teams, I don't think Clemson could beat Texas. It's the only one I think that doesn't have a chance to be upset in the first week of the playoff.
All right.
See, I don't think Indiana has a shot. I don't
want them to have a shot. Trust me, I don't. I want them to lose by 30. Yeah, I don't want them to have a shot.
No, I'm not talking about you, fool. I know you don't want them to win.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think they cover, but I don't want them to. I don't want them to cover. I'm with Brian. I hope they get their ass kicked. 100%. I hope they lose by 30, and I hope SMU loses by 22 because I don't want to see them in. But I think they will.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I don't think that Indiana has a chance against Notre Dame. I don't. It's like, I mean, Notre Dame had their one wake up call during the year, and I think that was really all that they needed, to be completely honest. They lose that game in horrible fashion the way that they did, and they haven't looked like world beaters ever since, but they've continued to be on the upswing.
I agree.
Can we say that this is the first real team that they faced all year?
Indiana?
Because we love Notre Dame. Because we love... Oh, hold on, Rafa, hold the hell on. Because we love Army and Navy. We love them. But at the end of the day, those are triple option running teams. And so when who else has Notre Dame played that can even, although Indiana is not this great strength of schedule, who who else has Notre Dame played closely relative to Indiana besides Army? I don't think they played anybody.
USC was in that game with 3 minutes to go. With 3 minutes to go, they're in that game. That score does not tell the story of the SC Notre Dame game. Agreed. They threw, that was way closer. They threw, 2 pick sixes at the end, and one pick six was to tie the game in the end zone with 3 minutes left.
So wouldn't it be the argument that that's what we give Indiana a chance then?
Oh, I think they're going to win.
No, Indiana has a chance because Riley Leonard hasn't played to what we thought he was going to play like at Notre Dame. And I think it's a Notre Dame thing because Sam Hartman was terrible last year when he was so much better at Wake Forest. So I don't know. But, 2 quarterbacks that have in reality not looked as good as they did in previous years could be an issue. But Notre Dame has beat the fuck out of everyone they have faced for the last, 6 weeks or whatever, with the exception of USC. That was the closest game they had. But for you to say this is their toughest game, no, because Indiana played a bunch of turds, literal turds, and the game that they played against Ohio State, whether you guys won, it was 2 plays or whatever.
It's the toughest game, no fucking question.
6 punts. All right. I think if Army and Indiana played today, Army would put the fuck to them. That's just my opinion. USC is a good team.
It's a bad coach.
Okay. Terrible.
Just a bad coach.
Good team, bad coach.
Well,
bad coach.
That's it for your college football episode 111. Obviously, some heated arguments. You guys are going to be really busy editing those clips. I just want to thank everyone who joined us in the chat. Zach loves college football, obviously. And Zach, who did Hunter beat? No one in the top 25. That just completely irrelevant. It's like,
not, Zach. I know what you're saying. Zach. I know what he's talking about.
But anyways, I want to thank CJ, Eddie Money, Rafa. Special thanks to Mr. Ryan Holmes. How can we find you, Mr. Holmes? Give us your handles. I know you got a ton of stuff going on, man.
Yeah. We've got Internet Wrestling Podcast, comes out either Wednesday or Thursday every week. And then Athletes Podcast comes out every other week, talking all different types of topics and things like that. And bunch of wrestling, bunch of different college stuff. Always enjoy you guys' content, especially when Rafa actually agrees with me. Rafa, keep the Dodger slander to a minimum, but just recognize the champs. All right, it's all right to kiss the ring. All right,
they won it. There's no doubt about it. They won it.
And they're gonna win it again. They're gonna win it again.
Let's not get wild. Let's not get crazy. They won it,
and they're gonna win it again.
Baseball is a different animal. It's a different animal.
I know. And they showed the Mets and the Yankees the same thing.
Yeah, man, fuck the Mets and the Yankees. Before we get out of here, Ryan, I want to maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We can work it in. I don't know. I want to talk Atlanta Falcons with you because I got to
come out tomorrow.
Listen, we can talk. We can definitely talk. We're shooting our internet tomorrow, but then afterwards I can hop on. We could definitely talk some Falcons.
Yeah, I want to get Atlanta Falcons because we got to address the situation going on there.
Yeah.
So
I'm in.
Awesome. We just booked another guest. Right. Thank you. Yes. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone out there. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks to our guest, Ryan Holmes. We'll see you tomorrow, man.
See you tomorrow, man.
Love you, man. Got to go to